Welcome back to another video newsletter. And today we're talking about communication and why that's so essential to master, especially if you are a community relations professional, to include a community engagement specialist or a business developer where you're focused on increasing your customer base, increasing sales. You have one side increasing your customer base, you have community engagement specialists. They're improving your community presence. But at the end of the day, both are affecting your bottom line, both in loyalty as well as revenue, as well as creating influence. So it's an art to it. And communication, there's so many different things to focus on, but there's 6 things I wanted to make sure that I included in this fun, insightful flyer here. 6 ways to become a better communicator. So if you are a professional, I'm sure you're already on this. If you're an emerging leader, this is what you have to focus on. If you are a professional and you're looking to master the opportunities in your career, especially as a community relations specialist, a community engagement specialist, or a business developer, sales professional, 6 ways to improve or become a better communicator. Number 1, you want to make sure you master emotional intelligence. And I always remember when I go on and shout out to U-Turn Laverne. She is a AM radio television talk show host, and I have the opportunity to join her talk show once a month to connect the community that I serve to her show, to get really deep into some great conversations. And when I'm on her show, and we talk everything from civics, community, and business relations in the territory that U-Turn Laverne's radio station serves, which is one of the areas that I serve and my sales and marketing consulting firm serves. But ultimately, I always like to bring up to the listeners, master the art of emotional intelligence. And the definition that I use, I forgot where I got it from, but the definition that I use when it comes to emotional intelligence is the capacity to be aware of, control, and express one's emotions, and to handle communication between people with good judgment, good sense, and with the ability to step into the shoes of another person and understand their feelings and perspectives to guide your actions. There's a whole lot going on in that melting pot. And that's why it's an art, it's a skill, communication, and you're really going to master it by actually going through the experience. So if you're afraid to go through the experience, you're never going to become better, and you'll never begin to master and develop your emotions, not only for your professional career, but also your personal life. Is so important. So shout out to you, Turn Laverne, and providing me the opportunity to always advocate emotional intelligence in that definition. Listen, repeat statements, and ask questions. This is an essential tool concept to keep in mind. Whenever I'm networking, I'm listening, I'm repeating what someone says, and I'm also to show that I'm listening and to really build that individual's trust, I'm asking questions, specifically about what is being talked about. And questions that aren't just mundane, but questions that are not only engaging, but can open up another avenue of a conversation within the same conversation, to where you look up and you're naturally talking for like an hour. And they're like, man, I like that person. It's a skill to that. When I was younger, I used to go to these clubs. I used to dress like I was a professional and I owned the club, and I would walk around the club twice when I first get there, say hi to people, shake hands, this and that. And during that time, I was listening to people while I was walking around. Hey, you good? Find everything okay? This is what I was saying. People were coming and talking to me. And during that conversation, to keep things going, I was repeating what they were saying, as well as asking questions. So people from afar are like, well, he's talking to this person, he's talking to that person. Go toward the VIP as far as someone can allow you, the security can allow you, because positioning and influence counts for a lot. And so I always remember when I was young, 19, 20 years old, 21, going to these clubs, by the time I ended up hanging out at the club for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, people were coming to me asking, can I get VIP, or can I get into this room, or Can you hook us up? Because they thought I was the owner based upon how I was able to listen, repeat statements as I was walking around, ask questions to build working relationships, to be that communicator. And a lot of times people are going to say, well, he must be the owner because he's talking to everybody, because most people don't like to communicate. So this is how you become better and can stand out to increase your customer base or your community presence. Number 3, write down notes when necessary. If you're a true communicator, you're not going to be able to keep everything in your mind, and you're actually working to do that. But to show that you are serious for yourself and to show others that you're about your business, when you can, pull out the old pen and paper, the notebook, and start writing. The digital ways is cool to do it, but the old-fashioned pen and paper speaks volumes on catching opportunities right then and there and just making the listener feel like they are appreciated and heard. So many stories I have of just pulling out a pen and paper and just starting a great conversation and saying, oh, you know what, young man, I like your style already. You're doing something that, people don't do, or whatever that looks like. Great story. Pay attention to nonverbal communicators. And that kind of indirectly goes into number 5, which is make eye contact. Because when you look at someone in the eye, you're indirectly able to not only capture what's really going on within them if you really know the art of communication, but you're also able, when you look them in the eye, to capture a lot of the other body movements because you're focused on something. And you just be able to start to read that individual because they're going through their flow, and you'll be able just to feel what's natural and what's not natural. And there's an art to that, even when you're feeling like it's not natural, of how to be natural. And so paying attention to nonverbal communicators, especially when you're networking, you can really see if someone is really interested in continuing to talk with you based upon their nonverbal cues. If you're talking with them and they're looking around, or jiggling their keys, these are things that don't have to be said for you to know, hey, less is more. Let me retailor my conversation or my pitch, or let me get out of this person's hair so that way I can reconnect with them and not ruin or burn my welcome or burn my bridges. Last thing you want to do, number 6, is, okay, well, let's go back to number 5 real quick. Make eye contact again. We know why, but don't forget to smile. The reason smiling is so important is because, especially as a communicator, as a bridge between communicators, and as someone that's bringing the input or delivering the communication, the way you do it, how you do it is so important, especially from a professional setting. And while you smile, it will help increase the attitude of your delivery, both verbally and non-verbally, because people can actually feel where you're coming from and can know when you're going through challenges. And if you are, again, once you master the art of communication, if you're going through a challenge, you can separate those things, handle your business, and then continue on with your day and your life. Again, that's mastering emotional intelligence, which is number 1. So the last thing, number 6, and there's no particular order, there's a lot more. Number 6 is utilize a quality customer relationship management system. It's so important because as you continue to communicate, you're gaining more data, you're gaining more intelligence, you're gaining more contacts. And it's important to put those contacts in an area where you can not only continue to follow up, but start to build that long-term loyalty and become seen as an authority figure based upon the content that you're sending out to them. So those are 6 ways, in no particular order, on how to become a better communicator. If I missed a way, or if you feel there's a way that we didn't talk about, leave it in the comments, and I'll see what I can do to send you over a special gift, ebook, nothing billions of dollars, but just something where you're going to get some good insight. Leave a comment of something that we did not mention, and we'll see if we can get a gift over to you. Make sure you visit my advisory service, www.ldhadvising.com, where I provide inside access and resources to business owners, from the enterprise to startup companies and seized companies, board members, nonprofit leaders, elected officials that are looking to generate more leads, increase their brand awareness, as well as increase their cross-promotion opportunities, to include getting more inside access and resources in urban areas. There's a lot of moving parts. Everyone has different directions and visions. So make sure you click the website or visit the website. Let's schedule a consultation, and I'll see you on the next call.